I want to talk about the things I said and did when everyone knew me as Lulu. I want to take responsibility for what happened and hold myself accountable for those things. When I was around 13 years old, I met and became a part of a group who targeted and harassed people in online spaces, something I repeatedly involved myself with. Jar, Broken Muse, Gaia, Akaidalia, and others have been on the receiving end of my involvement with that group. Unfortunately, I don't remember everything we did or everyone who was involved or targeted. I didn't realise at the time that I was being exploited by older and manipulative people who didn't have my best interests in mind, but this statement isn't about that. At the end of the day, I have a responsibility to own up to my part in it. As per the disclaimer, I only suggest this video because it addressed my behaviour specifically. This statement isn't about the nature of Jar's content either. The things I said were not fair things to say to another person, and I don't feel it's appropriate or sets a good precedent to sit right by those things. I was extremely apathetic. I followed what people around me were saying, and I hurt him deeply. It should have never happened, and I should have apologised sooner for it. Vivian, who was Broken Muse while these things were happening, was targeted with a video talking about her as if she was a paedophile, a rapist, and that she was an illegal prostitute. None of these things are true. She was in love with me, and I didn't tell her how old I was at the time, which resulted in what happened. Those accusations against her were fabricated by the people I was involved with, and I let her get hurt. No amount of regret fixes or undoes what happened. But if it's not clear, I condemn what I did. It was dangerous and irresponsible, and we made contact since then, and we've resolved our feelings about what happened. But it should have been sooner, and she deserved the truth. I can only ask that you respect her privacy. The reason why I'm talking about these things now as opposed to earlier is frankly I was afraid of becoming a target. That's no longer and never was an excuse for me to hide behind. With my older channel, Lulu, I removed all the pre-existing content years back. I decided to remove that content not only because my way of thinking was wrong and honestly concerning, but I endangered people, including myself. I showed my face, my family, and talked far too much about personal things. I removed that content to keep people online and the people I love and care about from continuing to get hurt. On the topic of suicide, making light of it and encouraging it, I don't want to talk too deeply about it. It's not a joke. I've always known that. To Jar and other people I've hurt because of it, I'm sorry. I don't want and never wanted anyone to die. It was disgusting of me, and you all deserved better and fairer treatment than that. With regards to Gaia, we don't talk anymore and I don't know her feelings. I won't put words into her mouth or attempt to talk for her. I can only hope that she's doing better. I'm deeply sorry for not doing more for you. I wish I could show you how much I really do mean that. I can't change the past and I won't deny the worst. I've made bad choices, a lot of them, and the issue starts with me. So I've been working to try and fix myself with therapy and counselling, to mend my behaviour and treat people better. Obviously nothing fixed what already happened, and nothing makes what happened okay. There's no excuse of it was just a phase, or all kids do stupid things. Age doesn't excuse anything. The things said and done were not normal for people growing up. Even though I was in an environment around people who did not have the best interests in mind, I was old enough to have known better. Much better. So was everyone else involved too. I understand if people don't want to mend bridges, and they shouldn't have to. And I understand if talking about this and addressing the past makes people feel differently. But it's better to be honest about things, so it's out in the open moving forward. I'm doing what I can, because people deserve better than before. I'm truly sorry.
Hello, my name is Vivi. I used to go by Broken Muse and Deviant Art quite a long time ago. That's a name that even I find trouble hearing again, but, well, here we are, talking about the past, and for my sake and everyone involved, I really hope we're moving forward. I'm here to speak on matters that happened at the time, and hopefully ease up the air a little. I myself joined this little group of people through IDKY Hanafu, someone I considered a friend at the time. I had adored their art, and took the time to seek her out, so I could hire her for my active blog at the time. Not long after, I ended up meeting her other friends, including someone who, at the time, I adored the content of. This was Lulu, which was what they went by at the time. I settled into the group, goofed around, just enjoyed my time, well, at the time, with them. But, well, soon the real purpose of that group came out, and it was loud and clear. Cause drama. From Truth Lily Gaia, Princess Elizabeth, to CEO, and many more. Personally, I only ended up actively participating when it came to the CO drama. Otherwise, I was just kind of there. But that didn't really change. But that didn't change that truly. None of it sat well with me. But at the time, I wanted nothing more than appreciation, to be accepted, and of course, I wanted friends. I nodded along, I watched, and carried on, making a few closer bonds, with some more than others. The two I ended up being closest with was that of Foxy Moxie, or as some people knew her, Beatrice, as well as Lulu. However, once the CO drama came to a close, I noticed a very distinct silence. The only one who really reached out at me at the time was being Lou, who, unbeknownst to me, was being pulled into pulling me into a trap. There was a call that was had, and she was told to ask very specific questions of me, and make sure I answered them, fabricating evidence to only fuel the dumpster fire that was coming. Hannah, Levi, and Heather knew much more about how I cared for Lou, and admittedly at the time, I wasn't very wise. I hadn't asked Lou her age, and while in my country she was of legal age, it was still something the group frowned upon. Not to say that she and I did anything inappropriate, mind you. We wrote a little, we flirted a little, and we had a close bond. Then, it happened. I found out why the silence had approached me. They had been building up evidence to bury me under the rubble of discourse and use the resulting funeral pyre to light the glory of their channel. False accusations from being a pedophile up to being a sexual abuser and even a whore were all lobbed at me. Countless numbers of people roaring up to yes man the group and do all they could to slam and berate me had begun. Overnight I had lost everyone and everything. All my friends at the time, those who supported me, I had nothing left. No one wished to hear from me again, and being so far from home, so far off from all the friends, even my family I had in my home province, they were so far out of reach. I had no hope. I was living with my abuser, and it was clear no one cared to hear the side of some nobody on the internet. I had begun to write my goodbye letter. I had everything said to give to those I trusted, and to spread the message that I was gone. I was about ready to hit send. A picture I had set as my background, a simple smiling face of a character I loved. The happiness, the joy I felt behind it, sparked me into realizing that people would care if I was gone. It was enough of a push to pull me back and tell me that death wasn't the solution. I was in silence for days. I didn't know what to do. I deleted my YouTube, I killed my DVNer at the time, and kept my Skype only for the sake of the people back home that wished to talk to me. Day after day, more people that I once called friends stepped out and took their turn pissing on the dying embers of my name. But what could I do? Time was the monster after all. Time flowed on, and of all people that checked on me, the person that wanted to make sure that I was still fucking alive was Lulu. One of the people who I admit did cut me deepest at the time. She apologized there and then. She explained that the others in the group had twisted her arm into doing what she did for evidence to add to their video, but she confessed that she didn't want to do it. On top of that, she had been the only one in the video that didn't deadname me, that didn't misgender me. Those reasons and more are why I accepted the apology. The hell was far from over. It took me a couple years to finally come out of social exile, and not long after I did, we started to date for a time. She helped me heal and come to terms that maybe a few good friends was all I needed in the end. In time, I gained confidence and started to branch out, put some goofy gameplay clips on YouTube and just come back to life. But it really wasn't over. Anytime I met someone new, they would somehow see the video that had destroyed my life. Turns out a handful of people from the group were still showing people the video. Eventually I stopped caring. I fought for my own life, I fully embraced my identity, moved countries, and started over. During that time, Lou gained strength. She matured, moved away from those who had raked their claws into her back. But it wasn't without wounds. Therapy, surrounding oneself with loved ones, and healing was needed. I held her hand through it all. More and more I became so proud of her. She was understanding that she hurt people. She knew she was manipulated, but nonetheless, she had done what she had done. Fear froze her from making a public apology, since so many still had malice from many parties. I pushed her, I bore down on her, and I told her time and time again, the sooner you cast your bonds off, the sooner you can move forward and heal. She's her own woman now. She works hard, loves her family, and is a good, wonderful, and true friend to those who let her in her life. Jara's video gave her a good chance to truly show people the person she has become, and I am incredibly proud that she reached out and is willing to expose who she was, what she had done, and how she is now. I'm not asking you to forgive Lulu. I'm not asking you to forget the things she's done. Hell, not even the things I've done. I'm only asking you to do what a normal human being should and listen. Hear her out, then make the judgment for yourself. Everyone has the capacity to change. Not everyone will. But no one can if you continue to beat them down, break them, and tie them to their past. That's why scars are such a beautiful thing. They teach you. They remind you. And they always tell you, but you never do it again if you can help it. All I'm asking is listen. People can change.